remember at some point I was meditating and there was a lot of distractions, or I felt there was a lot of distractions, because who is it that quantifies what a legitimate amount of a lot is, or not so many, because one person's a lot is another person's not a lot. But I was getting very frustrated, and I just wanted peace, so I can meditate and practice being kind and peaceful. And I don't know if it was during the meditation or walking home afterwards that I realised it wasn't peace that I wanted, it was control. I wanted to control the world around me. And I thought, oh, this seems like a thought worth sitting with. And I didn't think it out, I just sort of sat thinking about control, and I realised that the reason why I wanted control is because I felt like I didn't have enough control in my life. And then I started thinking, not how do I regain control, but I thought, how much control over my life do I need? How much of the world needs to go right for me in order for me to be happy? And I realised that I'd be happier the less I needed to control. The more I needed to control the people around me, the more I'd get frustrated and disappointed, and the more I would suffer and make myself unhappy for having this need. And that was a really useful teaching for me, and it came out of what you could describe as a terrible meditation, because I sat there with gritted teeth, hating the world for 45 minutes, and at the end of it I was the one that realised I was being daft, and I laughed at myself, and then carried on the thinking, and then realised that letting go of control of the world is good. And obviously there may be psychological reasons why we feel that we're disempowered, and it's not to go into those, and it's not to try and solve psychological problems, but just to be aware that we don't need to be completely in control, but we can respond to unexpected events, and it's much better to have an ability to calmly respond than to rigidly control. And I noticed that there was an initial reaction of, but I can't let people walk all over me. And I thought, well, these two things don't go hand in hand. The ability to assert boundaries, like healthy boundaries with ourselves and with other people, is completely different to the needing to control other people and the world around us. The sounds when we're meditating, or things, we can go to a supermarket and it can't have that one ingredient we need for that one meal that we want to make to impress the people that are coming round, but we're in a massive building filled with food, and yet we're still not satisfied because they don't have that one type of basil or fennel or something, and we create so much suffering. But really, if we responded by thinking, okay, I can't make this meal, but there are clearly enough ingredients here for me to make another meal, how can I respond? And it's that not needing to control the world, but being able to respond to the world as it is, because we're never going to control the world. The world isn't always going to be to our preference. And it's not to say that we shouldn't have preferences. It's perfectly normal to have a preference for pasta over noodles, or noodles over pasta, or soul music over dance music, or dance music over soul music. We can have these preferences, but And we can have these things that we don't want occurring without us suffering. We can just say, the music isn't to my preference, without getting angry about it, or the food isn't to my preference, but it's still healthy, so I should still eat it. Or it's just, I don't know, it's just trying to look at things from a place of what do I need rather than what do I want, and how much of the world is causing me suffering, and how much of the suffering is caused by me causing it to myself by getting angry about a world that isn't to our liking. So for me, that realising that I don't want peace, I want control. It's quite a hard lesson for me to accept to myself, and often the lessons that we find out in meditation pop into our heads, and we can't get rid of it. That feeling like you don't want peace, you want control. I couldn't leave alone as much as I want to. I had to work out the teaching. But that teaching was, I thought about that after the meditation, not before. So often we can walk away from a meditation, and it's the walking home or 3 days later that these insights come to us. And that's why often mindfulness meditation is called insight meditation, because we get these horrible thoughts that are very uncomfortable to ourselves, because we don't like to think of ourselves as control freaks. We like to think of ourselves as nice people, but when these thoughts come, these insights come, and we find out the unwanted parts of ourselves, at least we can bring them to light and go some way to resolving them, because just because we're not acknowledging them doesn't mean they're not causing ourselves suffering. So by acknowledging them, we are actually helping ourselves suffer less. So as uncomfortable as it can be meditating, it can be, and it can be wonderfully enjoyable. But sometimes those horrible meditations where we're blaming everyone but ourselves, the buck stops with everyone else, that can be good as well. So if anyone's having a tough time meditating, we've all been there. I've certainly been there at least as much as everyone else, and occasionally something good comes of it. So thank you for coming. I'm really touched by how many people are here today, so thank you, Anamodna.